The lights dimmed, the crowd rose, and the noise inside the arena turned into a low, dangerous rumble. What happens when a former world champion steps back into the spotlight against an undefeated knockout artist? When experience collides with hunger and pride meets power, there is only one outcome: war. Tonight was not just about a belt. It was about legacy, survival, and proving who truly belongs at the top of the light heavyweight division. Fighting first out of the blue corner was the challenger, trained by the legendary Buddy McGirt. Calm, composed, and laser-focused, he made the walk wearing black trunks trimmed with white, officially weighing in at 174.1 pounds. A man who had already touched greatness, a former Ring Magazine champion and former WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Liverpool's own Callum Smith stepped into the ring with quiet confidence etched across his face. Across the ring stood the defending champion, fighting out of the red corner under the guidance of Virgil Hunter. Dressed in green, white, and gold, he weighed in at 175 pounds and carried a perfect knockout record that spoke louder than words. 19 wins, 19 finishes. The reigning and defending WBO interim light heavyweight champion of the world, Joshua Buatsi, looked every bit the dangerous force people feared. The referee called them together, delivered the final instructions, and warned them to keep it clean. There were no smiles, no handshakes, only locked eyes and controlled breathing. The bell rang, and instantly the tension exploded into motion. Buatsi moved forward aggressively, trying to impose his physical strength early, pushing Smith backward and attempting to turn the fight into a gritty, close-range battle. Smith, taller and longer, refused to panic. He stayed patient, flicking the jab, measuring distance, and waiting for the right moment. A sharp right hand slipped through Buatsi's guard, clean and accurate, sending an early message that this would not be an easy night. As the rounds progressed, Buatsi continued to press, digging to the body and throwing heavy shots in hopes of breaking Smith down. But Smith's experience began to shine through. He timed Buatsi beautifully, landing crisp 1-2s and punishing left hooks to the body that echoed through the arena. Each body shot slowed Buatsi just enough, forcing him to reset and breathe harder than expected. Midway through the fight, the intensity reached another level. Smith started to find a rhythm, mixing head and body shots with precision. A perfectly placed left hook folded Buatsi slightly, followed by a sharp right hand that snapped his head back. Buatsi showed heart, firing back with uppercuts and refusing to give ground, even as a small cut opened near Smith's right eye. This was no one-sided contest. This was a test of will. The championship rounds were brutal. Sweat flew, punches thudded, and both men dug deep into their reserves. Buatsi marched forward with determination, landing solid shots that demanded respect, but Smith answered every challenge with composure and accuracy. His defense was tighter, his timing cleaner, and his punch selection smarter. Each exchange drained the champion further, while Smith continued to look sharp under pressure. When the final bell rang, both fighters stood exhausted but proud, knowing they had given everything inside that ring. The crowd applauded, fully aware they had witnessed a high-level boxing battle defined by skill, courage, and resilience. The judges' scorecards were collected, and silence filled the arena as the decision was announced. By unanimous decision, a new WBO interim light heavyweight champion of the world, Callum Smith was crowned. A statement victory. A reminder of championship class. A new chapter written in blood, sweat, and discipline. The night, however, did not truly end with the announcement. As Callum Smith stood in the center of the ring, belt draped over his shoulder, the cameras caught a look in his eyes that told a deeper story. This was not relief alone. This was validation. Years of criticism, doubts about moving up in weight, questions about whether he still belonged among the elite, all of it had led to this moment. Against an undefeated, dangerous champion, Smith had proven that experience, when paired with discipline, can still rule the highest level of boxing. Across the ring, Joshua Buatsi leaned against the ropes, chest rising and falling heavily. His face showed frustration but also respect. This was the first time in his professional career that he had been truly outmaneuvered over 12 rounds. He had shown heart, power, and courage, but tonight exposed the areas that only battles at the top can reveal. Losses like this do not define a fighter, they refine them. As Smith climbed the ropes to acknowledge the crowd, the applause grew louder. Fans understood what they had witnessed. This was not a lucky night, not a controversial decision. It was a calculated performance built on fundamentals. The jab, the body work, the timing. Smith had slowed Buatsi down piece by piece, round by round, until the fight belonged to him. In the post-fight moments, analysts quickly began breaking it down. The body shots were the key. Early investment paid off late, draining Buatsi's legs and reducing his explosiveness. Smith's defense, subtle head movement, and ability to reset under pressure separated him from the younger champion. This was the difference between raw power and polished craft. For the division, the result sent shockwaves. A new name now sat at the top of the WBO interim light heavyweight rankings, and suddenly the landscape looked very different. Potential mega fights began circulating immediately. Unifications, grudge matches, big money nights under the brightest lights. Callum Smith was no longer chasing relevance, he was dictating the conversation. Buatsi, meanwhile, left the ring with his head held high. Champions are not built only by victories, but by how they respond to defeat. This fight would become a turning point in his career, a lesson that pressure alone is not enough at the elite level. Adjustments, variation, and ring IQ would be his focus moving forward. As the arena slowly emptied and the noise faded into echoes, one truth remained clear. This was a fight people would talk about for years. Not because of controversy but because of quality. Two elite fighters met in their prime, pushed each other to the limit, and delivered a contest worthy of the championship it represented. And this is why boxing continues to captivate the world. On any given night, reputations are tested, futures are rewritten, and greatness reveals itself under pressure. Callum Smith seized his moment. Joshua Buatsi earned respect in defeat. And the fans, the true winners, witnessed a battle that reminded everyone why the sport will never lose its soul. If you're enjoying these deep, cinematic fight stories, make sure you stay connected. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter. The light heavyweight division is heating up, and the next war is already loading. If you enjoyed this elite-level boxing war, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more powerful fight stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss the action. Drop a comment below and tell us, who should Callum Smith face next? This is boxing at its finest, and the story is far from over.